It is 30 minutes past the hour, and it is 69 degrees in downtown Sylacauga this morning. We're joined by Sylacauga Fire Chief Nate Osgood. Nate, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning. And you're fresh out of a council meeting last night. Any happenings from the council meeting?
Well, we had some discussion about doing some refurb on our ladder truck. We had some issues with it through our annual testing.
How old is that ladder truck?
It's 20 years old.
Oh, Lord.
So
That's a lot of miles on it.
It doesn't have a lot of miles on it, which is great. It's a great truck. So we had some issues with it through testing, so we were working through getting that fixed.
What is a ladder truck? Basically, what would that be used for?
Well, so anything anything that requires height access.
Like these high-rise apartments.
That's right.
Okay.
So Sylacauga Towers, any of our industries. Of course, we can flow water through that. Of course, access for people. We've used it to get people out of trees. We've had instances where tree trimmers have been injured, and we've used it to lower them. We can also use it for rope rescue as a kind of a high point anchor to use a rope system. So it actually has. It's a pretty versatile truck, and we don't use it. It's not something we use every day.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that when you need it, there's not really any replacement for it.
Yeah. What are some of the duties of a basic firefighter?
So obviously, we exist to serve the public. That is what we're there for. Our vision statement for the Sylacauga Fire Department is excellence and efficiency in public service. And of course, it's almost impossible to be 100% efficient and 100% excellent all the time, but that's that idea that we're striving for, and we may never truly get it, but we're going to die trying.
I'll ride by the fire department sometime, especially early in the morning. I'll hear sirens, I'll see lights flashing. There are procedures you guys go through every morning with the fire department.
Yeah, absolutely. Equipment checks and making sure the apparatus are running, make sure nothing needs to go to the shop, figuring out. Right now we're in the middle of doing our annual hydrant testing. We kind of put our hands on the hydrants for the water department to make sure all of our hydrants are working. And this year we're actually going to do a round of painting the fire hydrants, which I know I've heard from different members of the community that they were looking kind of sad, and they were. It's been over 10 years since they've been painted.
Oh, wow.
So they're technically owned by the water department, so we kind of do it in conjunction with the utilities board.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been fire chief?
4 years was marked.
Okay.
This past
Now,
March.
where were you before that?
So I was here. I started here as a firefighter in 2012 and worked my way up the ranks from there.
Okay. The shifts that a firefighter works.
Yes.
How does that work?
So we have 3 different groups, 3 different shifts, and they work 24 hours at a time.
Oh, goodness.
So we do our shift change at 7 a.m. They come on at 7 o'clock in the morning. They work the full 24 hours till 7 o'clock the next morning, and then they're relieved by the following shift. We repeat that cycle 3 days at a time.
So sometimes there are no calls. Sometimes there can be multiple calls.
Absolutely. We kind of average 2 calls a day over the course of the year. But of course that means you have the days where the radio's quiet, and you have the days where you're running like crazy.
Well, Memorial Day weekend, a lot of excitement, a lot of schools getting out, a lot of traffic on the highways, a lot of swimming, a lot of fireworks, and all that's well and good, but we got to be real careful too, don't we?
That's right. So just talking some brief safety tips on that. A lot of people fire up the grill. One of the things that we look for is keep the grill away from the house. I know keep it out from under the eave of your building. You have it on your porch. Try to get 10 feet of separation there somehow.
That meat looks pretty good on that grill, by the way.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And we obviously we don't want anybody to not enjoy the holiday weekend, but we just want everybody to be safe. Keep your kids, keep your animals away, keep them out of the area. Toddlers don't know it's hot. Keep them away from it.
I saw this picture this morning of a grill outside.
Yes.
And they had it's a vinyl siding home. and they had it too close to the vinyl siding, the fire itself didn't catch it, but the heat from the fire did.
Melted the vinyl. That's right, absolutely. And I've had calls over the course of my career where on a gas grill, the gas line has dry rotted, leaks out, catches on fire, causes the gas tank, the pressure relief valve on the gas tank to go off. And gas tanks, propane tanks, generally they're not going to explode like the movies would lead you to believe, but it'll definitely scare you when those things start firing off. So, if there's any problems, any issues, you smell gas, turn the gas off. If obviously if you see a fire gets out of control, call 911. We'll come show up and take care of whatever the problem is. But
other tips you can share this morning?
Yeah, so you mentioned swimming, you mentioned pools. The majority of drownings, child drownings, actually happen within 10 feet of an adult because they're quiet. It's again, movies tell you one thing, real life shows you something different. So it's not splashing, flailing arms, hollering, screaming. It's usually a quiet thing. So if you're gonna have a lot of people in the pool, it's a good idea to kind of designate somebody as a lifeguard, if you will, who's responsible for keeping an eye out. Stay off your phone, keep an eye on the kids. You mentioned fireworks. Just be responsible. Be safe. Keep distance. Is key there. So, again, we want everybody to have fun. We don't want anybody to get hurt in the process.
What is the rule of thumb, Chief, of the detectors in one's home?
So, like smoke detectors. Yeah. So with smoke detectors, in a perfect world, you want one in every bedroom, and you want one outside of every sleeping area. So if you have a hallway that you have 3 bedrooms on, that would be one sleeping area. And then at least one on every level of your home. Wow. And absolutely, positively, without question, smoke detectors save lives. I was just reading where I think every fire death in the state, except for 2 so far this year, have been in homes without working smoke detectors.
So I've seen stories of a home on fire. People get out, and they either think someone is still in the home or a pet is in the home. Well, speak to that this morning.
That's our job. That's what we train for. That's what we're paid to do. And those are our priorities. When we show up on a scene, our priorities are life safety first, property conservation second, incident stabilization third. And when somebody makes a decision that puts themselves at risk unnecessarily, you've just doubled the difficulty for us. So if there's, we understand pets are people's family.
Right.
We understand if you've got a family member inside, we're going to pull out all the stops to
That's
get
your
in
job.
there. That's what we do. That's what we train for day in and day out, so that when the time comes, again, going back to that vision statement, we can be excellent and efficient. There are times where we can't miss. That's one of those times. And so, keep yourself safe first. Just like the oxygen masks in an airplane. Put yours on first before you help somebody else. Keep yourself safe first. Let us do our job when we get there. And obviously, we're going to do everything we can when we show up.
What about an escape plan? Should we have one in our homes?
Yes. So the fire service term for that, our acronym for it is EDITH, exit drills in the home. You go to school, kids run fire drills. You can do the same thing in your house. You can make it fun.
Why
for
do
your
we
kids.
not do? We don't do that,
Well,
it costs lives too.
It's just one of those things, out of sight, out of mind, and it's not a problem until it happens to you.
Yeah. Wow. Nate Osgood, Sylacauga Fire Chief this morning. Now, you guys are pretty well in good shape as far as workers are concerned, employees are concerned, right?
That's right. So we've got one vacancy right now in the whole department, and like all the other departments in the city, our hiring process goes through the Civil Service Board. They just tested. We just had the application period open and close, and we tested for that, and we had a few candidates pass the test, and they still have to do their interviews with the Civil Service Board. And I would expect within the next handful of weeks, we'll probably actually be 100% full.
We always talk about when we have holidays. I don't. There's not many holidays we don't deal with this, and that's fireworks.
Right. Yep, and again, grown-ups, have an adult supervising, I mean, making sure that, you keep an appropriate distance for whatever type of firework you're shooting off. I remember growing up as a kid, had a buddy of mine who didn't know what the big mortars are that shoot up and make the big balls, and he lit the thing and threw it in the road. And then we were all diving for cover, because we had a fireball on top of us. So, real fortunate somebody didn't get hurt. I'm sure a lot of people have similar stories from their childhood where hopefully they learn from their mistakes and they don't repeat them. But, have an adult around, make sure things are staying neat, orderly, safe.
And when you ignite the firework and nothing happens with it, it's not a good idea to go over and pick it up, is it?
Well, that's right. So I mean, all it takes is that one little bitty spark to be sitting in there smoldering to light off the powder in there and blow up in your hand, and you don't have a hand anymore.
Yeah. So the Sylacauga Fire Department, you got what, 2 locations here?
Yes, sir. Yep, 2 stations. So we have the one downtown right behind City Hall, the 121 north heading out of town towards Sycamore, and
How does the coverage work on that, as far as the north location or the one out on Talladega Highway? How does that work?
So we have in our standard operating procedures, we have a dividing line where we have Station 1's coverage area and Station 2's coverage area, and then depending on the call type, whatever comes in, either one engine responds or both engines respond to handle whatever the incident is.
Sometimes we have the no burn orders, and most of the time we don't pay any attention to those no burn orders, and it can be problems.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's always a sore spot in Talladega County. So the no burn that everybody is always complaining about actually has nothing to do with the fire department or fire weather. It has to do with ADEM, and it's an air quality issue. All of Jefferson County, there's 6 or 7 counties at least involved in that no burn, and it is every year from May 1st through October 31st. And I know that's the springtime and the summertime and the fall when everybody wants to get out and burn because the weather's nice. We cannot issue any burn permits in that time frame. And obviously that just went into effect about a month ago with May 1st, the first of this month. And that, like I said, extends all the way through October 31st, where the Alabama Department of Environmental Management has a no burn for air quality for the entirety of Talladega County.
Can that be enforced?
We have to try to enforce it. I mean, that's part of our job. Now, we don't have a lot of necessarily ticketing power, but if it continues to be a problem, we move it up the food chain.
Yeah.
So we try to catch flies with honey. So we'll go out, we'll talk to people, we educate people. The fact of the matter is, most people just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Don't understand.
Yeah. The importance of, just say, Sylacauga Fire Department and volunteer fire departments in our area. That's got to be a critical hand-in-glove fit for you guys too.
It absolutely is, and that's one thing that I really appreciate. So I started my career in the fire service as a volunteer firefighter. When I turned 18, I joined my local volunteer fire department, decided this was something I wanted to do for a career, and kind of made the jump, went through the additional training to become a career certified firefighter. But we're surrounded by volunteer fire departments, and we work very closely with them. Oak Grove, County Line, Hollins, Sycamore, they're all volunteer agencies, and we respond with them when they need us. We call them for help when we need them, and we're all on the same team.
And these guys go through training as well.
They do. There are differences in the number of hours required to be a volunteer certified versus career certified, but absolutely, we're all cut from the same cloth.
Before we go this morning, talk about what we should do. I don't know where I got this, but I read somewhere where most house fires happen at night while we're asleep. Now, I don't know if that is the case or not, but what should we do if an alarm goes off, or even if we don't have an alarm? What should we do in case of a fire in our homes?
So the first thing is obviously get out. You know, that's stuff can be replaced, and I'm speaking here from some personal experience. The Monday after Thanksgiving this year, my in-laws' house, we all live on the same property. My in-laws' house burned, and we lost they lost everything. I mean, it you know, and I can't tell you how many times I had family members make comments like, "Well, I never thought this could happen because my son-in-law's the fire chief." You know, but it can happen to anybody. And so, as hard as it is, you know, things are there. Things can be bought. Can you replace memories and all that stuff? You know, maybe not, but lives are more important. So get out, stay out, call us, let us do our job.
Major causes of household fires.
So in this area, a lot of cooking fires, you know, leaving grease unattended, that type of thing. You know, one of the safety tips I always tell people, if you're gonna fry something, take a cookie sheet out, just lay it on the counter next to where you're cooking. If your grease pan catches on fire, turn the stove off, set the cookie sheet on top of your pan, which takes away the oxygen. The fire will go out. Don't touch it. Leave it there. Let it cool off. And then you can take the cookie sheet out, you know, take it off the top of the pan and deal with your oil. But if you know, grease fires get out of hand real quick, obviously don't put water on grease fires. That just creates a bigger problem. But if you got a problem and it's above what you can handle, get out, stay out, call us, let us show up and do our job.
First thing most of us do, Chief, is we panic. You can't afford to panic in a situation like that.
Right. Well, and like I said, you know, if there's any question, get out, stay out, call 911, let us come do our job.
There are a lot of seniors in our area.
Yes, sir.
Older Americans that, you know, we're not media savvy and stuff like that, and we don't know a whole lot about smoke detectors and stuff like that. Do you help folks like that?
So absolutely. You know, if we have somebody who, you know, doesn't have any family around to help them and needs help changing the battery in their smoke detector, they'll call the fire station. We'll be glad to come change the. Now we don't have the batteries. We don't supply them. But we'll be happy to come. You know, swap the.
But don't call 911.
No. The fire station is you know, non-emergency line's fine for that. But again, if there's ever any question, if there's ever any doubt, call 911. It's you know, if you're unsure, you know, we get calls at the station sometimes. Well, I wasn't sure if I should call 911. If you're not sure, call 911. You're not going to get in trouble.
Right. And summertime coming on, and you've got air conditioning. Some people don't have air conditioning. They use fans. We got electrical cords running all over the house. Got to be careful there.
Right. Yes. You know, extension cords definitely can be cause of electrical fires. Make sure they're rated for the kind of amperage that you're trying to run through them. Power strips. Trying to plug too many things into power strips. We see that, honestly, we see that probably more in the wintertime with heaters. But yeah, absolutely, electrical fires they do happen. Yeah.
All right, Chief, thanks for coming this morning.
Yes, sir.
Keep
Thank
up
you
the
for
good
having
work. Nate Osgood, Fire Chief of Sylacauga, is our guest this morning. Got more Daybreak just ahead. Don't get too far away.